Hi there, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who watched the episode of me and Gary on my trip down to Malvern. It was fantastic, plenty of airtime and some very good results. Thank you for leaving all your comments and well wishes to me and Gary. It was a brilliant experience and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Back at the garden now, I'll give you a quick tour of the allotment and then we'll have a dodge over to the greenhouse at home. We'll have a look at the giant onions. Everything's growing really well. So we're now at the greenhouse on the allotment, and we're in the greenhouse, and as you can see, all of the dahlias, plenty of them. So what we've got is these lot here are from the second batch of cuttings which I took. These are the first lot, which they were a little bit late being potted up, but they'll sharp green up when they get a bit of lawn fertilizer on them, just to give them some nitrogen and get the colour back. But that was the first batch I took, which was a small batch just to get the early cuttings out of the way. So second batch there, that was also part of the second batch. Some of the plants that are in there from Andrew as well, Andrew Robinson, really good, top grower. And over the back here is the third batch, and here's another part of the third batch there. So dahlias wise, I think I've got my numbers. I'm just due some cuttings from Kevin who was very kindly going to send us some. I've swapped them for some giant onion plants, so big competition this year with the giant onions, but we'll see how mine get on. What we've got down here, we have got giant cucumbers. So that's from the first batch of seeds which I sowed. And these ones here, looking a bit sorry for themselves, but they've just been potted up into out of the airpot seed tray, which is over there, and they've been potted into just seed trays. So yeah, we've got plenty to go at this year. A few more dahlia cuttings down there. Giant tomatoes, they'll be going into 3 litre airpot and then into the final 9 litre airpot. So plenty plants to go at. So we'll have a look in the polytunnel, the first polytunnel. So we have got the Leeks grown in airpot. Doing really well. They could do with a bit more nitrogen, to be fair, in the feed, but having said that, they're still quite a good size. So these ones here will just be grown for heavyweight. All the ones that I've got in here are Yorkshire Giants, so these will be aiming for Malvern. They're a bit behind the ones in the trenches, but they were planted out probably 2 to 3 weeks before them, so a little bit behind, but I actually want them to grow a little bit longer, so I've held them back a little bit. So they're doing really well. I'm away down to Chelsea Flower Show next week for the back end of the show. And I'll be taking some of my plants down there, working on the airpot stand with the guys from airpot. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if you see us, I'll be on the airpot stand at Chelsea Flower Show. Come and give us a shout. Giant onions, these are just the spares. They're not looking the best if you compare them to the ones that I've got in the greenhouse, but these are basically on the allotment just to give you a comparison in respect of growing them under lights or in natural daylight. So size wise, they're not the biggest, but as I say, it's just to give you a comparison. And then some smaller ones down here. These are being fed the same feeds as what's at home, and these ones are in smaller pots here, but them ones there are in the same size pots as the ones that are in the greenhouse at home. We'll have a quick look in the leaf trench. So full to the brim. On the left here is the Cumbrian pot leek. I'll quick look down size wise. It'll go. So I've got the noise there, the hissing noise is the spray hose just watering the trenches, and then we've got the Yorkshire Giants along here. And size wise, about the size of a Coke can now. And then down the middle we have all of the chrysanthemums. they're looking good, really good. So I'm just trying to work my way in between these pots here. So basically, what I've got on is 4 decent breaks per plant. In about a week and a half's time, I basically just take the tip out of the plant, and that gives it its second stop, and that'll ensure that I've got flowers in November. I should get around 8 stems per plant. That's what I'm aiming for. So doubling my numbers on the side breaks, and I'll strip everything off. So I've got 45 late flowering singles, and I've got 25 anemones. Struggle to say that there, but I've got some anemones as well. So having a crack at both of them. Really looking forward to growing the chrysanthemums here. Basically, you should have been outside already, but I haven't got the growing area ready yet. One thing I did get done was I managed to get the carrots in. They've now been thinned out to one carrot per growing station. Not the best of plants, to be fair. They're not going to make it any national shows, but they should do for Leeks here, small local shows. So fingers crossed we'll get them get some on the bench this year. I haven't had a lot of time to get to keep on top of the weeds outside, but there's plenty of time for that. I'll get the weed suppressant on probably early next week on the 2 beds. They have been rotivated just to get rid of all the crappy straw. So they'll get covered. The watering system will go in, which is just basically a soaker hose on a timer, and then I'll get these beds filled. Probably 3 weeks time I'm aiming for to get the dahlias planted out. So that's it for down the garden. We'll have a dodge across to the greenhouse at home. We'll have a look at the giant onions there. Right, so we're now in the greenhouse at home, and what you can see is the giant onions. One thing I noticed over the last couple of days was one of the, well, not just by looking at, when I walked into the greenhouse you could smell a very strong onion smell. So that's normally the case of an onion that's starting to go soft or rotten. So I took a bit of a look at some of the plants, and I don't know if you can notice it. You probably can, but see that one there? See the yellow on the flute there? Well, that's been happening. That's been coming out for about 4 to 6 weeks now. And what's happened is the centre has went rotten underneath, and the flutes are starting to rot underneath, so I've lost one. But that's what you grow 12 giant onions for, and big pots, plus the spares down the allotment. They're starting to really bulk up now. In particular, that big boy at the back there, and the one over there. Try and get in that one there. The height of the necks. So I got a few long-necked onions. So that one over there, which is labelled as upper, which means it's from a strain of long-neck onions. So I've got 2, one there and one over the back there. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but that one's under the 315 and the light is reflecting onto this one here. I know it's quite a wide berth away. And another thing to note is the sheer height of the flutes. Just for comparison, I'm 6 foot tall, and that is up to about me eye height. So they're really motoring along. Size wise, they are sitting at 17 inches around, averaging, well, the biggest is 17 inches, averaging about 16 inches around between all the onions there. So as far as this year goes, really good with the giant onions. I'm about 2.5 inches, 3 inches bigger than last year, so if that's something to go by, it's going okay so far. The watering system is now in. Quickly have a look down. So I have 3 drippers in the pots. And basically it's still on the Nutri-Drip Nutrimatic drip system, which is programmed. It's basically programmed, self-programmed, and you can't alter that. I did have a controller unit which controlled the lighting system, all the fans, heaters, dehumidifier, and also the watering pumps. But I had a bit of an issue with it. It's on its way back, and the new one will be out probably in the next 2 weeks or so, and hopefully I should be able to have it for the next video just to show everyone how it works. So as things go, doing really well so far. Feeds wise, I'll give you a quick look. Can of feeds again this year. A and B, Rhizotonic, Chrysanthemums going in, and PK 13-14 will be going in later on. The EC, which I'm feeding at, is higher than what I went last year. Reason being, I think the onions can cope with a higher feed rate. They seem to be, well, just look at the height of the flutes for the onions, as I say, 5.5 foot high. I'm feeding them at 1.7 EC, and the pH is 5.5, which is monitored on the Nutri-Drip pump system. What I've done with the watering system this year, I had an issue where the water wasn't stopping once it had started. I'll try and get into the tank. So I've put the filter system on, and I've raised it up so that it comes up and out of the tank and then down to all the plants, and then it doesn't get any backfiring into the pump. So it's working so far. The plants are getting, I think it's 2 litres a day at the moment. It's just watered onto the floor there. It's basically running to waste. The trays aren't underneath this year, and the plants are looking really good for it, so I can't complain so far this year. If you're wondering what all the white stuff is all over the floor, it's basically, I've had the window open and there's a tree, I don't know the name of the tree, but it's shedding its petals, and my back garden is white as a sheet, and so is my greenhouse, because we had a little bit of wind and it blew it all through the window. But hey ho, all looking good. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check us out at Chelsea Flower Show. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. See you later.